So, here's my story. I hope you like it. Have you ever built a Lego set? Have you ever deviated from the actual step-by-step instructions? Life is about constructing your own masterpiece, one block at a time. Some of us could view their lives as a set of instructions where everything was carefully planned and orchestrated, nothing out of place, no loose ends, and no extra pieces. But is that reality? Perhaps society has more obligation to ensure equality. We are all different, just like Lego blocks that come in different colors and sizes, and the challenge is connecting the blocks from the moment we're born to everyone we meet to the education we receive. The more blocks we get, the more in-depth our own understanding becomes of our own reality. I wasn't one lucky enough to be born with a set of instructions. Instead, I had to build my own experience, one block at a time. Graduating with my undergraduate degree was a success, but graduating with a master's, well, that's just like adding the final piece to your Lego structure. I'm the first in my family to receive my undergraduate degree, and soon I will be the first to graduate with a Master's of Arts in Education with a concentration in instructional technology. The difficulty of being a first-time generation graduate only makes this accomplishment more rewarding. Mom received a GED, and my father never graduated from high school. I had no parental insight, no idea of the financial implications, nor the requirements for academics. Today, I look back, reflect, and appreciate the challenges as adversity has strengthened my character. Each theme studied enabled an in-depth analysis to the historical purpose of education, multiple perspectives on approaches to learning, social implications of education, learning theories, and learner population in the 21st century. I'll provide you with my thoughts on how each of these themes have widened my perception of education. There's no doubt the U.S. educational system is facing difficult challenges. Other countries are outperforming us, yet we spend more per student. Funding inequalities are the essence of disparity in low-performing schools who primarily serve disadvantaged minority students in economically deprived neighborhoods. Understanding these issues and the facts that face our nation should fuel the fire and bring equality for education for all. The nature of knowledge requires individuals to look across disciplines to make meaningful connections across various subject areas. Think of it this way: Lego bricks come in different sizes, different colors. Would you want them to all be the same? Let's say education represents green, and as you learn throughout your whole life, you're only given a green brick. How would you differentiate your learning across fields? Other aspects of your life are not even accounted for. The idea of mixing units or bricks provides a unique approach to developing our own epistemology towards acquiring knowledge. I plan to use technology, business, and educational expertise to advance learners for the 21st century learning. Interdisciplinary doesn't rely on just one block, but the sum of all the linked units represent it. While my life has certainly changed since the beginning of my educational journey, it doesn't mean that I'll ever accept the status quo. I truly believe that advocating for social change will always be an important principle in my life. Learning theories from classical to more contemporary are critical for understanding how one acquires knowledge. Learning is not stagnant, thus changes over time, occurs throughout life, and happens through experiences well beyond the classroom. According to Vygotsky, learning is more than the acquisition of the ability to think. It is the acquisition of many specialized abilities for thinking about a variety of things. I truly enjoyed examining the various theories and found different ideologies to be fundamental to teaching. Just as the students have different styles of learning, the population which we teach is diverse. Today's classrooms require forward-thinking, culturally responsive educators to meet the needs of all diverse learner populations. Diverse learning populations goes beyond race, class, gender. It also includes sexual orientation and the inclusion of students with disabilities. We all have different cultural backgrounds and experiences and worldviews. We learned that Lee, Meyer, and Haro address some issues facing the classrooms and our education today, but they also provide us with strategies in how we can promote an inclusive classroom for all of our students. Advocating for equality in education requires more than just being a passive learner. It involves action. Social injustice continues to plague our educational society from achieving fairness, justice, and equality in education. We learn that there are many variables that affect the equality of education, but the meaning of equity is simple. Everyone should be given the same opportunity for success, regardless of race, ability, social economic background, and gender. No doubt, advocating for social justice can seem daunting, but just as building a Lego set with over 5,000 pieces, you start with one brick at a time. Learning theories developed based on empirical grounded research help us to understand and guide the learning process. I discovered the importance of judiciously integrating theories that relate to my students' learning. I realized that the role of a teacher is to connect theory to practice to provide an optimal learning environment. For example, I use Skinner's behaviorism to influence certain aspects of my classroom, such as structured curricula, classroom management, and rote skill sets. But I also use Piaget's 4 stages of growth to provide insight to how my pre-K students create their own knowledge, rather than just listening to me. Vygotsky adds the importance of social interactions that influence students' language and thinking. We also learned additional learning theories such as situated learning, constructionism, and androgyny. Situated learning relies on the learning as a social process, it's not an aid, and we learned about legitimate peripheral participation that assists with knowledge and practice that takes into account young, and old. Constructionism is not just about building knowledge internally, but having the physical tools, such as Legos. Legos are a great example. They help students to make sense of their ideas through hands-on tangible objects that can be shared with their peers. Androgyny examines adult learners and stresses the strategies of learning compared to younger learners. Malcolm Knowles identified 6 principles of adult learning. Using Legos helped me to organize and divide and categorize the information from this course. The dumped Lego effect happens when teachers do not take time to properly plan lessons and activities that are based on the students' learning interests and style. Lego bricks individually are just Legos, but when the bricks are connected, they teach us that each unit plays a valuable role. Learning can happen if we connect relevant information to new and past information. Legos are compatible and thus fit nicely when pressed together, providing a positive classroom environment where all my students feel welcomed and valued and respected, regardless of their social economic background. Stress the importance of equality in education. Knowledge is interchangeable, where I plan to assist students by taking knowledge from one area and linking it to another area. Staggering Legos ensures stability and builds a more cohesive construction. I plan on establishing relationships with my students and breaking down concepts in smaller, organized steps to improve their achievement. Legos are valuable, my students are valuable. I want my students to see that they are the creator of their future. My role is to provide them with the pieces so they will build, share, create, link, reflect, and in the end, build their own journey of learning.